Hello and welcome to Martin Lucas Investors channel. My name is Sensei and we have an exciting stream planned for you today. We are looking at the Genius Act. We are going to be keeping an eye on Bitcoin, and obviously XRP's futures have been trading for the first day of trading has occurred for XRP futures, so we'll be looking at that as well. So thank you everyone for tuning in. The big story of the day is this Genius Act. We were covering it at 2 a.m. last night. It passed through Senate. There's a few extra stages it has to get through, but we will get onto that very, very shortly. If you are here with me, please do hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and let's get into it. Yes, we've got the Martin Lucas gear on. You can see his logo on my all embroidered, very comfy jumper. Everyone should wear it to bring on the rally, says Steve. So the global markets, the US markets, Nasdaq is only down 0.2% pre-market, and we've got the S&P 500. Is that right? Yeah, S&P 500 is down 0.13. So not much movement on the US markets. Pretty flat since close. Gold, however, is rising. It's uncertainty rising. While gold's coming up to resistance very shortly on the short-term time frame. But if it breaks through, then we can have another run on gold. That would mean there's some uncertainty in the markets, and that could present a sell-off. But we're keeping an eye on that. The markets are very volatile at the moment. So the markets really don't know which direction they want to go. They want to go up. But it looks like some news keeps coming that pushes them back down, such as the Moody's credit rating. Again, it's not a big deal. Long term, it might be a big deal this week. We will see. It has put an end to the S&P's rally. I think it was a, let's look at the S&P had a multi-day rally that's been put to an end, if I'm right. Let's have a look. This is taking too long to load. There it is. No, it hasn't. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 days of green. Basically, that's a tiny red candle. Okay, well, I was wrong there. So yeah, the S&P 500 has just been constantly moving up. We are coming into the major level of resistance, and what I mean by that is the 786, the last level that I've been talking about for a while. If you take a Fibonacci from the high to low. No, it's already past the 786, the S&P 500, so there I am wrong again. Nope, you are fine. The resistance, I guess this is regarding, is the previous all-time highs. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's looking fine, to be honest. The S&P 500, the trend is your friend. The trend is towards the upside. Yes, there's always a little bit of resistance up ahead, but if you can keep moving beyond these levels, especially back above 6,000. I mean, 6,000 is the level that everyone's going to keep an eye on. It does look like we're going to all-time highs on the S&P 500 index, as long as the media doesn't keep putting out bad news. And that would be good for the crypto markets. I mean, the narrative can change. If they want to bring down the price of the S&P 500, they can bring out another news story and they can try and bring it back down. However, the trend is very much the upside. Yes, we've got a few gaps on the downside, but we don't have to worry about them at the moment. And gold has had that double top and it's trying to regain, so let's keep an eye on gold as well. We will go into the news of the Genius Act as well, because that will have an impact on crypto. Bitcoin, we covered it last night. At this time yesterday, it was forming a bearish engulfing candle. That didn't occur. However, it is still not the best closed candle. Yes, it did recover very, very well. The buyers came in. The buyers actually pushed it up 3.42% since those lows yesterday, but it's still closed below resistance. It's still tested 107,000 as resistance. And today's candle is also confirming that that is resistance. So we will see how today's candle closes. But we are also on breakout watch because we're so close to all-time highs, 4% away. If the broader markets decide to move up, Bitcoin will smash through the all-time highs. So we have to keep an eye on this. If you just looked at the chart right now, you would say it's bearish. Why? Because it's lower highs, a failed breakout, and that could signify the end of the bull market. So that's the risk there. That's why I'm not buying, but we're keeping a close eye on it. In the next few days, we should have a decision made. Is it going to be held as resistance? Are we going to have a downtrend? Or are we going to break these highs and continue to create go over to all-time highs and 130,000? We will know in the next few days. I certainly would not be trading it right now. Moving on to XRP. Again, we've been saying, just like what happened right now, Bitcoin's sort of in this stage where it's double. It tried to break out of $2.62. It failed. It was acted as resistance, and then it came down to its next level. So that's what happened with XRP. That's why we were waiting for a breakout of $2.62. We didn't get a breakout with an official candle close. You can see they're just wicks. Then we pushed down significantly, and I said $2.30 would be the target if that breaks $2, and nothing's changed since. $2.30 has been the support. It's acted as support. If that breaks, then keep an eye on $2. But that would result in the other Bitcoin coming down. That's what will push XRP down to $2. That's the last thing we would want to see. It would be a break of structure. It would be a break of higher lows. But it is a possibility. If $2.30 breaks, so far so good. $2.30 is support. That is a fact. The next level of support is $2 if that breaks. Again, that's why I'm not buying any XRP. If I wasn't in XRP, then yes, I would buy $2.30. If I was trading, if I wanted to do a few day trades, then yes, I would have bought $2.30 on leverage and made probably 70%. But there's no point doing that. There's I don't really like using leverage on short-term trades anymore. Let's get on to what this act is about. I've got it prepared for you here. That's the Genius Act. Okay, I spelt it wrong, but that's fine. I think we've got, okay, just a quick roundup of today's news. So Moody's downgrade sparks global ripples. Hong Kong pension funds warn of potential forced sellings of US treasuries after the downgrade by Moody's. US stock futures are pulling back after a 6-day run, while Treasury stabilized after Monday's volatility. Jamie Dimon warns credit today is a bad risk. CATL, the big Chinese IPO, surges despite Pentagon blacklist. Chinese battery giant CATL raised 4.6 billion in this year's largest IPO and surged 16% in Hong Kong. The company continues to attract investment despite being blacklisted by the US Department of Defense. Japan's bond market shock. Japanese bonds slump after the weakest auction demand in over a decade. 20-year yield jumped 15 basis point higher since 2000. Markets are worried about the Bank of Japan pulling back support. Trump pushes tax cuts. Trump heads to Capitol Hill to rally Republicans behind his signature tax cut plan. Key disagreements remain on safety net cuts and limits on state tax deductions. JP Morgan's big bet on Europe. JP Morgan expects European stocks to beat US equities by 25% this year, the largest gap ever. The stock 600 is up 8.3% year to date versus just a 1.4% for the S&P 500. Bullish bets on the euro are accelerated as German reforms and earnings boost confidence. There we go. The bet is still on Europe. Retail investors pile back in. US retail investors bought 4.1 billion worth of stocks by midday Monday, a new record. Wow. 4.1 billion worth. Retail investors bought 4.1 billion worth of stocks by midday Monday. That's a lot. That's half of that was Martyn. The S&P 500 has rallied for 6 sessions straight. Yes, it has. We'll see if we get another one now. The Magnificent Seven tech stocks are now up 26%, 29% from the April lows. Let me just make sure this is okay. Yeah. Retail's learnt the hard way. Never get left behind, says macro trader Frank Moncam. That's what we were saying when the markets were down. We were saying, when are you going to buy back if you're selling? Uh, Stocks on the move. United Health rebounds 2.2%. Alphabet ticks up ahead of major AI showcase. Asana drops after Morgan Stanley downgrade. Pegasystems jumps after joining the S&P mid cap 400. Greg's rises in London after strong performance update. Do you remember when we thought Greg's was a good buy, and we did the special mug? It had a big crash in it. Where was it? Couldn't be too long ago. It might have been around here. Yeah, Greg's from those levels that we were excited about. Greg's it's up 20%, not bad. Yeah, today it is up 6.75%. Home Depot earnings due today. Focus will be on housing, tariffs, and consumer strength. That'll be interesting. When's Target earnings? I think that's today as well. No. Let me just check something. 1 second. When is the Target earnings? Target earnings. Can anyone tell me when the target earnings is? Is that today? Uh, I'm struggling. Um, Quick fire headlines. US Senate advances stablecoin bill, major step for crypto regulation. UBS, we're going to go on to that next. UBS loses first legal round over capital hike. Trump retreats from Ukraine peace talks, giving leverage to Russia. Fed signals no rate cut until at least September. Mauritius now home to 5,100 millionaires, expected to double by 2033. There we go. There's some headlines for the day. Let's move on to the Genius Act. We have it all ready for you here. We'll start with this. Okay. And let's see your comments. Let's see who's in the show, and then we'll get straight into that. I wonder why that's so annoying. Why is that taking up most of the screen? Okay. Who do we have here? We had Steve first here. Zach Zate is here. Motto A Team is here. Steve is here. Martyn says hello. Motto A Team. Zach Zate. Good morning. Yuri Chaban. Hi Martyn. Hello. Well, Martyn's coming on next. My name is Sensei. We do the morning show before Martyn. Please pump Virgin Galactic today. Come on, guys. LEB. We it's not the point of what we do. And in my opinion, I don't think we could pump Virgin Galactic. I don't think I don't think we could, even if we really, really tried. That's my thoughts anyway. Sensei, these are great morning shows. Good job, thank you, Stacey. I really appreciate that. Up pre-market, but it's early. Yeah, we've got another couple hours until an hour and a half until trading opens. Everyone should wear the Martin Lucas gear today. Yeah, what's everyone doing? Has everyone got their jumpers? Steve will tell you it's the most comfortable jumper out there. I have the same one on. I love it. Thank you, Steve. Good morning. SBC is trying to take off. Is it? Let's take a look. We'll go to stocks. Yeah, it's up 5% pre-market. It's getting very volatile, isn't it? What are we thinking for SBC today? When it goes crazy like this, you just have to have a plan to where you want to sell and where you want to buy. You can't really, just like I had a plan, I stuck to it. I'm in profit, and I might have lost out a little bit. As I came on the show, I said I sold at $4.50. I then sold at $5.90, and then I sold. I think Maybe I didn't. But my next level of resistance is around $7. So I've got my levels of resistance that I want to sell and ladder out all the way until $10 because I think at $10 we could possibly get a significant pullback. I'll still have a tiny bit of a long term bag, but by $10 I want most of my position to be gone. And on the buy side of things, I'm still looking at $3. So I've got levels I want to sell. I don't want to look at the day to day. What do I think is going to happen today? Um, I've the levels are set. $5 87, $4.50, $6 $0.89, $8 13, and then $10. So those are the levels I'll be selling. It's going to get volatile. It's very hard to predict in the next 5 minutes. Is it going up or down, or is it going up or down today? We don't know. You just need to prepare for the downside and the upside. Monthly stablecoin audit requirements and the Genesis Genius Act. Yes, we'll look into that. Hello, that is correct. Hello, President and Smash RB is in the house. We love it. Thank you very much. Please do hit that like button if you have tuned in. Good morning. Hi. SPC 6 passengers, 600 per seat. Wait a year or more for a flight. Very few can afford that. And how many want to do that if they can't afford it? Repeat customers. Why are we so excited? SPH. There's plenty of people around the world that would spend that sort of money to go to space. Um, so there we go. Hi, Steve L. RB, look out the window. Wealthy people are busy. People, I imagine, so waiting a year is probably nothing to them. Sensei needs an authentic Martyn Lucas bird feeder just outside his window. Thoughts? Thank you. I don't want them to poo all over my window and walls. Hi. Hello, Mike. Good morning, all. Uh, Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. I love feeding my birds here at the house. I'd feed the birds just away from the house. Mike, it is so. Good morning, Sensei. What other stocks do you own other than crypto coins? I'd have to get the phone out. I did sell a lot of stocks previously, and then I bought. During the dip. Let's see. On one account, I'll give you some of the ones I have. Martyn won't like this. I've got a few ARK ETFs. I've got MicroStrategy, Crypto, Blockchain, I just had crypto in the name, so I bought it. That's that one. Dollar Tree, that was a trade setup. A bit of Mobix Labs, which is the only one that's down. And Vanek, Crypto and Blockchain Innovators. Rocket Lab, SBCE. That's about it on that account. There's some answer to your question. I'd like to build up a much nicer stock portfolio. I just haven't really got the time. Good morning, Sensei. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Greetings from Thailand. Go Futures XRP is up 14% on 30 days. Yes, yes, yes. We'll get on to the XRP Futures. Hello, Sensei. I have doves, red-winged blackbirds, mockingbirds, sparrows, finches, crows, cardinals, woodpeckers, and robins. We love that, Mike. I think I've seen woodpeckers, robins. Definitely no doves. Um, Definitely seen some few crows. Hi, Sensei, and Blue Jays. Brilliant. TGT 520. 20. Oh, is that Target? TGT? TGT? Yes, 21st of the 5th. Stephen Lewandowski, thank you very much. You see, the only person who replied to my question that I asked 229 people, and it was Stephen Lewandowski. Thank you, Stephen Lewandowski, for giving us that. Target earnings are tomorrow. Good afternoon, ladies and gents. Hello, smash the like button, says Matt. Yes, if on your way in, please do hit the like button. Hi, Michael. PFE announced a big deal on cancer drug at 8:35 last night. Is that Pfizer? PFE? PFE, yeah, it's up 1% pre-market. Hi everyone, I'm buying a 70s Volkswagen bus in a couple of days for 2,000. Is that an investment? I wouldn't know, Patrick. I don't know much about vehicles. If Dogecoin is the exact copy of Bitcoin except for how many coins is existent, does that make Bitcoin the original meme coin? Might do, yeah. Pump XRP for me, Sensei Matt. I'd require billions of dollars. So if you want to loan me a few billion, I'll pump it for you. Unite Health Group is a buy. Thank you for that. If you want us to do a chart request on that, you can. If anyone wants a chart request, or if you want a chart request for United Health and look at the trade setups, you can do a super chat for $4.99. We can do that. Good morning, Sensei. Thanks, Sensei, for what you do with the charts. Thank you, Mike. Thanks for tuning in every morning. It's great to have you here, and thanks for all your support over the 3+ years. We love it. Good morning. You've been supporting the show longer than me, Mike. So there we go. Chris Fulton. Good morning, Sensei. How much do you think the XRP price range after the big ETS file this year? Oh, $5 to $10. Yeah, depending on again. It's not even about, okay, at any point the ETF comes out, we're going to go up 300%. I can't say that. What's important? Oh, Yuri Chamban has become silver.
Yuri Chabon has become a member.
Chabon. Thank you very much. Lots of perks and benefits for being silver as well. So if anyone wants to become a member, there's the link. Volkswagen Bus is not an investment, says Dan. So yeah, once the ETF gets announced, it's not as easy as just saying whenever the ETF gets announced, it's going to go up 300%. It's definitely not as easy as saying that. We'll refer to XRP's price so I can explain this point to you. So it depends where we are. If we're crashing, if we're in a bear market and then Bitcoin's down at 60,000 or 70,000, stocks are back down, we're going into a bear market and then suddenly, oh, ETF announced. That is the worst time for the ETF to be announced because the sentiment's not there. So what you would do, oh, here we go. Oh, thank you very much.
God donated $10 through a super chat. Hey Sensei, can you do a chart for CHWY Plaza?
Plaza, I love that. Yes, we'll do that for you. Thank you, GODB. Okay, so yeah, so if we're in a downtrend, not this sort of downtrend, we're still above $2. We Bitcoin's near all-time highs. That's fine. If we're like breaking $1.70, going into a bear market, and then suddenly we get the news of the ETF, yes, the price will react. We might go up 50%, 100% in a day, but then it will very quickly after go straight back down. And what's the perfect example of this? When we got the best news ever. XRP is not a security. What happened? We were in a bear market. We were on a sort of a brink of a breakout of 50 cents. We got a 100% move in a day. It closed down 73%. We had 4 days of sideways action. 2 weeks later, the price was already down 50% from the highs. So that's what happens when you get the best news possible in a bear market. You get one pop, and then it just give it a few weeks and you're back down lower than before.
$5 Australian through a super chat. Hbar chart please Sensei. Looking at buying tomorrow night when I get paid.
Thank you, Jay Harrington. We'll have a look at Hbar. Yeah, so there you go. You can very easily see we actually ended up lower than before the it was announced that XRP is not a security. So that's why we can't say for sure how far up it's going to go. If it comes out and we're about to break all-time highs and the markets are going crazy, we're about to break all-time highs, and then we get the ETF news and that is going to launch, that will propel XRP to probably $7 to $8 to $10 within days, or within a day. And then that could signify the end of the bull market. But it all depends on when it comes out, how it comes out, and what part of the cycle we're in, and what the sentiment is. It's not as simple as ETF comes out, 300% move any day of the week, any day of the month. No, it's about what's going on. Hope that makes sense to everyone. Okay, so we've got a couple of requests, and we want to go through the junior spill. So let's do the requests first. CHWY Chewy. Feel like we've never seen this one before. Never done any analysis on this. Okay, before we get onto these chart analysis, um, please don't take anything I'm saying as financial advice. Please do not buy or sell based on anything I'm saying. This is just my thoughts and opinions only. It would be a bad idea to buy or sell based on anything I'm saying, because I have no idea what your situation is. I don't know if it's right. I don't know. There's more research you can do. I don't know if it's right for you. And um, I would hate for anyone to lose money because of what I'm saying, and that's very possible. So please don't do that. But I can certainly help you with looking at the charts and giving you further ideas. So this one's CHWY Chewy. I guess it's a US, yeah, company. Earnings report is in 22 days. Market capitalization, it's a big company, 18 billion. Online retailer of pet food and other pet related products. Chewy. I think I've heard of Chewy. I don't know if it's in the UK though. Yeah, it's very much a US thing, isn't it? Yeah, it's a US thing. There we go. That's what they are. People are always going to feed their pets, aren't they? Even before they feed themselves. So let's have a look at this. Okay, so we've got the lows down there. We've got the all-time lows. Bear with me while I've never looked at this chart before, so we have no uh, technical analysis. I don't think that's actually too significant. Just doing some horizontal resistance for now. Have I missed anything? Yes. Just charting this out. Bear with me one moment. Let's zoom out and have a look at it on the weekly time frame. Oh, that didn't carry forward to the weekly time frame. That's fine. You can very much see there's a downtrend there, and then it broke out. Okay, this is very interesting, actually. It's an interesting chart. I don't see many like this. So what's similar to a lot of other charts is you've got your IPO, big run up to the downside, then you go downwards, but then you accumulate in a strange upwards formation, then you make the new lows, and then now you're trying again. So all I would say about this stock is it looks like the uptrend has started again. I'm more bullish buying it here than I would have been over here. Why? Because that was not a confirmed breakout. Whereas here you've really formed a bottom. If I just show you this zone over here and we highlight it, rectangle, you were forming lower lows, and this is really signifying that the sellers um, what's the word? Sellers got forgot what the word is, but basically the sellers stopped selling and the buyers came in. Um, and the way you can tell is you've got lower lows, lower low, lower low, and on the RSI they'll sell at exhaustion. So the sellers got exhausted. That's it. That's the technical word. It's seller exhaustion. Lower lows, lower lows, lower lows on the price action. However, the RSI is giving you higher highs, higher highs, higher highs. So in fact, when you look at that, and if that was requested at the time, what we'd be looking at is a triple bullish divergence. That is one of the best things you can see, especially when you're at all-time lows. That gives you the confidence that this downtrend is coming to an end, and that's actually signified the bottom for now anyway, and it does seem like this bottom will hold perhaps forever just from that bullish divergence. So that's much nicer bottom than potentially here. So that gives us confidence that this is going in the right direction, and on top of that, you've got high lows, high lows, high lows. So more people are buying this, more people are buying this. You've broken out of $40, and $40, as you see, when you broke out, you've got 2 days of follow through. It looks like $51 is very easily next. Every time you've broken $40, it seems like you head to $50. For example, you hold at support $50, $50. You broke it this time. You went, you came in for a retest, and then you went straight to $50. Here, it took a few more days. You went in for a retest, fake out, and then you went to $50. Here, you failed to break out, so you didn't go to $50. Here, you failed to break out. Now you're breaking out. It looks like $50 will be next. And what gets exciting is previously you haven't broken $51 again since that big uptrend. You're going to try again, And if you do succeed, there is virtually nothing in the way of between $51 and $97. So the upwards potential on this stock, in my opinion, outweighs the downwards potential. What else would be in the way? Maybe the 50% retrace. So you can always, if you want another target, there you go. That's a 50% retrace. Why has that not come through? There you go. You could be targeting something like that. The $97 aligns exactly with the 786, so that's definitely a target. So $67 could be a target after you break through $51, and then it's very much $97. So you've got a lot of upwards targets. What you can see occur at $51, just to put it bluntly, where is it? You could see it go to $51 and then retest $40 or this upwards trend and then break out, so be prepared for that. But it does look like $51 is next, and at some point it does look like you're going to break $51 to continue upwards to $67, and then beyond. So it's a good looking chart. You zoom out, you think it's a good looking chart. It went on its initial hype run, then it's cooled down, then it had its capitulation, then it has its seller exhaustion, and now it's building back up, higher lows, higher highs. And then breaking out $40. So it's a perfect looking chart. Well, not a perfect looking chart. A perfect looking chart would just be that all the way through history. But this is obviously a new company and it's finding its footing, and it provides a lot more upwards potential than those charts that just go like that, like Apple, Microsoft, the S&P. So there we go. In my opinion, it's looking good. Supports at $40, resistance is at $52. That's the short term. Oh, Chris Finland.
Chris Fulton donated $5 through a super chat.
Thank you, Chris Fulton, for your donation. Running, okay, what was the next one? Running and driving for $2,000. I could turn around and sell it for $8,000 this summer. Running and driving for $2,000. Running and driving for $2,000. I could turn it around and sell it for $8,000 this summer. I invested in a risky coin. It's called VRA. I have no thoughts. Reborn. Be careful out there. There's a lot of scams. I'm not saying that's a scam. I've never heard of it. Hbar chart. Okay, that's the next chart. Hbar USD. Hbar USD has just regained support. It's at 19 cents. It's at a sensible level. Higher lows. This has previously been support, and now it's holding its support. It broke through, testing 19 cents as support. Targets include 25 cents, and the all-time highs are around, or not the all-time highs, but highs around 40 cents. Yeah, this is long-term good. Remember, there is always the case. There is always the case, and I keep wanting to make it clear that the bull market is over. That is a case. 20% chance, 15% chance, whatever you want to call it. There is a chance that this will all come back down to much lower levels. We could potentially see Hbar back at 0.05 with a 70% correction. That is not what I'm thinking is going to happen. But if Bitcoin doesn't break out of all-time highs this week, or if it treats it as resistance, then we're going to start getting concerned. But for now, I'm not concerned, and I think we don't have to look at that case right now. So we are at support. 19 cents is definitely an area I'd be buying. I'll be targeting 25 cents. So yeah, if I had money, I'd be buying Hbar at these levels. It's not overbought right now. It's come up from its capitulation level at 13 cents. Now it's back to its next support. Last time we broke this level, Hbar went up about 100% in 2 days. So if we get the same sort of momentum and Bitcoin starts moving up, and then the altcoin season comes, we can see something very similar occur again on Hbar. But I would always leave a bit of money on the side, because there is always a possibility we come lower as well towards these ranges down here. So not too much to say about Hbar. Upwards trend, upwards trend. If the bull market continues, we've got much higher targets on Hbar, and 19 cents would be somewhere I would be buying as well. Again, not financial advice. Thank you, Jay Harrington. Yeah, Hbar is a great token. Yes, Hbar. Thanks so much, Sensei. No worries. GODB. Please and thank you. Oh, sorry, Christopher. D-Wave. D-Wave. Sorry. D-Wave. 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 I want to chart on D-Wave long. Sorry, I sent it before I put a message in. That's fine. Don't worry. Um, Here we go. We did it. We said it. You failed one time. You failed a second time. You're probably going to succeed this time. You broke $11. You're on the last level of resistance at $13, and it looks like you're heading to $21. So again, thanks for the request, but not much to be said. Would I be buying here? No, unless I was a trader and I was buying on that breakout around $11. However, is there more upside potential? Yes. You are on the brink of breaking out of all-time highs. You've got the momentum because you've done something you couldn't do the last two times, which was break out of $11. $11, you didn't break out. This time, you knock on the door a few more times. It happens. This time, it did happen. You had a very strong underlying higher-low structure. That's why we were saying you could possibly break out here. $11.44, straight up to $13, the next level of resistance, and the final level of resistance. So yes, it is a level of resistance. It is all-time highs. You have to take that into consideration. It might end here. However, the RSI is not overbought yet. The RSI is in the bullish territory. You've got the momentum to break a level you couldn't the last two times. You've got higher low structure. So oh my god, it's up 17% in the pre-market. You've already done it. So I was just predicting that you're going to break out because of all those reasons. And then I've just seen in the pre-market you have broken out. So yeah, that's what I would say. That's what I would say would happen, and that's exactly what's happened. I wish we could go back. We should have requested it yesterday, and then I would have told you it's going to break out and it's going to go into uncharted territory and it's going to start moving really fast. That's what I was saying without knowing that it was up 17% pre-market. So congratulations. Yeah, breaking all-time highs is inevitable. That's what's happened. And once you break all-time highs, the sky's the limit. It's uncharted territory. I would be targeting $21. And that would be my target. Let's see if there's another target. Yeah, $21 would be the target, unless there's another target before. On the shorter term, you'll be looking. Oh, to give you another target as well. So $21 is the main target. $16 might be a target in between as well, where you might find some resistance if you really want to get out. There we go. You've broken all-time highs. That's what I was going to suggest anyway. Then that's what's happened pre-market. $16 is first target, $21 next target. Uncharted territory. Congratulations. I wouldn't be opening a trade here, but I'd certainly be enjoying it and getting ready to take some profits. Yeah, there we go. We can hit that first target today, $16.25, up 16% pre-market. Thank you for your request. Um, Thank you, Paul. Morning, Sensei. Lucas says, "Hey, Sensei, the law passing yesterday have any effect now? No, I don't think it will have any effect, at least in the short term. I know you're talking about crypto this morning, but I can't help to mention that CRMV CoreWeave CRMV. I'm so mad. I almost put 5,000 on it. When it was like at 35, when everything dropped at $90. I was at 90 now. See, no, we're talking stocks and cryptos, whatever people want to request. Um, CRMV. I don't see such thing as CRMV. Fulton is already in. I love it. Congratulations, Fulton. Did you request it last time when we were looking at it? What chart was he just showing? Just join the stream. The last chart was Chris Fulton's request, which was D-Wave, QBTS. CoreWeave is at $90. Ran out of room. Last text about CoreWeave. Oh, CoreWeave, that's the ticker symbol. Yeah, it's at $90. You are correct. What is a lot of these weaves, isn't it? Oh wow, yeah, it went down to $34 in that drop. Interesting. He's just showing the D-Wave chart. Yeah, it was a D-Wave. Okay, we've got 10 minutes. I wonder if I've got time to make a video for the crypto bill. Martyn, can you let me know if there's anything, if I can go 5 minutes extra? I just don't know if you're covering anything on the half hour. Is there any news coming out? Let me see. Let me message Martyn. Can I do extra 5 minutes? Is there news? As in, by news, I mean, is there like PPI or CPI or anything like that that gets released exactly at 1:30? Mario, if you want to do a super chat, we can look at any charts or stocks. Sensei, what will be your moves if the US actually buys a crypto reserve or announces a coin? I don't think they'll buy. I think they're just going to hold until they sort out their debt situation. I don't think they're going to buy it, or they're just probably going to hold or get gifted amounts of crypto to hold. Like Ripple could gift XRP to the reserve, or anything they seize will go into these reserves. So my plan doesn't change really. Let me get ready for this video. Okay. Martyn's going to go live 1:45, so we've got 15 minutes extra. Okay, let's do it. Let's do this Genius Act. That's there. Let me just get this also ready. Genius Act, Genesis. I keep getting them confused. Genius, not Genesis. Genius. Okay. We're gonna bring you the news now on this. Okay. ZBCN making higher lows and looking good in my opinion. What do you think, Sensei? Steve, we probably won't have time to cover it unless you want to do a super chat. Is there a site where you can see a good overview of shorts and stocks? I've been wondering about this for a few days now. I think Martyn's software gives you that, so do ask Martyn. He'll be going live in about 10 minutes time. Why is Bitcoin supposed to pump this week? Because there's a technical breakout on Bitcoin, and if it fails to do this, then it shows us as a major sign of weakness that it can create a higher high, or at least hold its technical breakout. Okay, let's do this as a video. Breaking news on Martyn Lucas Investors channel. We are looking at the new Crypto Act, the Genius Act. It's been passed through Senate, a few extra stages to go through, but there is the good, the bad, the ugly. We're going to go through all of it. It's good for some reasons, it's bad for others, and it's very ugly in terms of one particular coin. What's that coin? USDT. Something that props up the market, something that's been questioned for a long time. We'll see what happens. Let's go into the actual details of this bill, and we'll start here. So we'll give you the quick breakdown first. So what does it actually include? What is the Genius Act? It is actually the guiding and establishing national innovation for US stable coins. Establishes a federal framework for regulating payments stable coins. Key provisions include. So this is the main things. We're going to go through them. If you do enjoy the content on this show, we'll bring you all the breaking news, XRP, crypto, Bitcoin, stocks, everything you can ever dream of is on this show. So please do hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so before, and let's continue with this. So these are the few of the things. So if you don't know what it is and someone's asking about it, now you do, because it's one-to-one reserve backing. Stablecoins must be fully backed by US dollars or high quality liquid assets like treasury bills. You can't just create one out of thin air anymore. Monthly audits and transparency. Remember, RLUSD has pledged it was going to do monthly audits by one of the big audit firms. No one else does that. USDC sort of does that. USDT does not do that. We'll get onto USDT shortly. The monthly audits and transparency. Issuers are required to undergo regular third-party audits and push reserve disclosures. Redemption rights. Holders have a priority in recouping funds in case of issuer bankruptcy. Issuer eligibility. Only federally or state-approved entities can issue stablecoins, with smaller issuers under 10 billion allowing to operate under state oversight if they meet federal standards. Regulatory oversight. The Office of Comptroller of the Currency, OCC, will oversee federal non-bank issuers, while state regulators will supervise smaller issuers. Consumer protections mandates include anti-money laundering compliance, cybersecurity standards, and segregation of consumer funds. Big tech restrictions. No financial public companies such as Meta must obtain special approval to issue stablecoins. Non-financial public companies, they'll have to get special approval. They can't just do it. Securities clarifications. Stablecoins are classified as non-securities, limiting SEC's jurisdiction over them. So, why is it good for crypto? The Genius Act is viewed as a significant step forward for the crypto industry because it provides regulatory clarity, enhances consumer confidence, encourages initiative, aligns with global standards, and supports US dollar dominance. That's the main reason a lot of people are lobbying for it, so it can continue that US dollar dominance. We've got a bit more detail here. So it requires 100% reserve backing and transparency. So it requires these stablecoins to be backed 1-to-1 by high quality liquid assets. So whether it's dollars in the bank or whether it's very short term treasury bills, that is what's needed, because the last thing they want is depegging, and they're making that much stricter rule. Issuers must publicly disclose their reserve composition monthly, so they need to say what it's being backed by every month, and provide annual audited financial statements if the stablecoin market exceeds 50 billion. Who's in that camp? USDT. We will get onto USDT in a second and why that's a concern. This ensures every stable token is redeemable for equivalent fiat values at all time. Federal and state only regulated licensed entities can issue stablecoins under the bill. Issuers have two paths to approval: federal regulators, e.g., bank regulators or state regulators, but state regimes must meet federal standards. A new stablecoin certificate review committee will vet state regulatory frameworks to ensure that they are substantially similar to federal rules before those state chartered stablecoins can operate nationally. This replaces an earlier draft approach of giving the US Treasury direct approval power. If the state regulated issuer grows large, over 10 billion in stablecoin outstanding, it must either submit to the federal regulator oversight, obtain a federal waiver, or stop issuing more coins. Ban on risky stablecoins and algorithms. The law effectively outlaws algorithmic stablecoins or other unstable designs. What was the one? What was the algorithmic stablecoin that went to zero? It was backed by Terra Luna, USTT, the Terra Luna stuff. You can no longer do that, and I think that's fine. Only fully collateralized, non-interest-bearing payment stablecoins issued by licensed entities are permitted. There is no fractional reserve or crypto-backed algorithms that could collapse. Every stablecoin must be backed by solid assets. Notably, the Act does not treat these stablecoins as securities or commodities, giving them a unique legal status as a new type of digital payment instrument. Remember, that is why it's big. That's why it's massive. We've got stablecoins coming out that are now going to be regulated, that are now a new type of money. They are literally the digital dollar. That is literally what they're going to be classified as. They are going to be regulated, so they've got one-to-one backing. They're going to be regulated by the size of them, so 10 billion to 50 billion. If they don't want to get more restrictions, they have to stay under a certain market cap. Robust consumer protections imposes strict capital liquidity and risk management requirements on the issuer to prevent runs or insolvencies. Reserves must be diversified, no heavy reliance on risky or illiquid assets. For example, holding corporate debt or equities as reserves is explicitly prohibited. So these companies can't take your money and invest it in the markets. They have to be in liquid, safe assets, treasury bills, cash, stuff like that. Truthful marketing rules. The bill sets out strict marketing and labeling standards to avoid misleading consumers. Stablecoin issuers cannot falsely imply any government backing. It is illegal to advertise stablecoin as insured or guaranteed by the US government or FDIC. They cannot market a token as a digital dollar or legal tender issued by the US Treasury. In short, buyers must be clearly informed that stablecoins are private digital money, not official US currency. Any digital asset marked as payment stablecoin must comply with law requirements, or else marketing is unlawful. Insolvency safeguards. Holder priority to further protect users. The Act spells out what happens if a stablecoin issuer fails. Stablecoin holders that claims that take priority over all other creditors in bankruptcy or liquidation proceedings. That's brilliant. So they have to pay back if anything goes wrong. The people that hold their tokens, the retail investors, the stablecoin holders, will get paid back first before they go and pay back any other company. The law would force an expedited legal process to return reserve assets to redeeming stablecoin holders quickly. This way, consumers are first in line to get their money back from their reserve stash, minimizing losses even if an issuer goes down. So, why is this good for crypto? Regulation. Everyone says regulation is terrible for crypto. It's actually good as long as it's the right regulation. Yes, Martyn is going to go live in 10 minutes. Stand by. Martyn will be going live. If you're watching this as a video, this is always made during a live stream, so I am referring to the chat at the moment. We're live every morning, so please do tune in. If you haven't done so already, please do subscribe and hit the like button. We will go live with all the news. So why is this positive for the crypto sector and why is it bad? We'll get onto that in a second. Regulatory clarity and legitimacy. The bill establishes the first clear federal framework for crypto stablecoins in the US, ending a long period of uncertainty where stablecoins operate in a legal grey area. Crypto industry leaders have lauded as much needed step that will enable widespread stablecoin adoption and cement US dollar dominance in the digital asset economy. By defining rules of the road, Congress is legitimizing stablecoins as part of the financial system rather than leaving it in the regulatory limbo. So it's a big win for the crypto industry. The Senate's strong bipartisan vote to advance the bill is seen as a major victory for the crypto industry after years of stalled efforts. It signals that lawmakers are willing to support innovation-friendly crypto legislation, not just enforcement actions, which boosts market sentiment. As one Bloomberg report put it, overcoming the procedural blockade on this bill marked a major victory for crypto advocates in Washington. Industry shareholders believe that this momentum can carry over to other crypto issues like overall market structures, creating a more favorable environment for crypto businesses broadly. Consumer trust equals industry growth. Increased public and institutional trust in its stablecoins is obviously good. Greater trust encourages more users, businesses, and even traditional financial institutions to use stablecoins, payments, and settlements. Imagine the amount of businesses that would say, well, we're not going to touch it, it's too much of a risk. Now it's the law and now it's being passed through. There's so much more that can be built on crypto. Stablecoins are a massive part of the cryptocurrency market cap, cryptocurrency world, and now it's getting legitimized. You can really do a lot more with it. It's not us who can do a lot more, it's these massive businesses that will see so much opportunity here. That wider adoption is net positive for the crypto sector. Maintaining US competitiveness. Yes, we want US to stay ahead, or that's what the US citizens want, is the US to stay ahead and at risk falling behind. There was a few other places that were doing this legislation. Open doors for institutional adoption. It opens doors for institutional adoption. That's what will drive prices up. A clear legal framework could pave the way for traditional financial players, banks, fintechs, payment companies to enter the stablecoin arena or to integrate crypto more confidently. Companies like Stripe have voiced support for the bill, noting that its consistent regulatory framework can safeguard innovation and strengthen US competitiveness in financial services. Remember, stablecoins are working all around. I think 1% of all US dollars in existence is actually linked to a stablecoin. That's set to rise a lot. Robinhood, how do they do that after hours trading? Well, they can't use normal banks because they're closed. They use stablecoins. Stripe, payment processor, is supporting this because this will make things more efficient for them as well. In practical terms, regulated stablecoins could be used in mainstream payments, remittances, and business transactions, blurring the line between crypto and traditional finance in a positive way. The bridging of the worlds is beneficial for the crypto industry and expectants. There's no implications on Ripple and XRP. No direct impact on XRP's legal status. The Genesis Act is focused on cryptocurrencies, so it does not directly address XRP. And that's okay. Yeah, we know that. Improved regulatory environment. Indirectly, this legislation is positive for Ripple and XRP because it signals regulators are finally providing clarity for crypto. Ripple has long called for clear rules instead of regulation by enforcement. That's now what's going on. It lays foundations for broader crypto regulations, and that could benefit XRP. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse went to Washington to advocate for the stablecoin bill and other sensible pro-crypto legislation, expressing encouragement that lawmakers are viewing crypto as a multi-chain ecosystem, not just Bitcoin. Bitcoin maxis, bye bye. You can keep saying Bitcoin's the best and Bitcoin solves all the problems, and there is no such thing as an altcoin, and they're all rubbish. You will go down in history for being on the wrong side of history because imagine just saying Bitcoin is the best and Bitcoin's the only thing that you want to invest in, and everything else is rubbish. Well, there's plenty of them still around. And Brad Garlinghouse is an advocate for all crypto, not just Bitcoin. A functional stablecoin regime could thus pave the way for more clarity around payment tokens like XRP in the future. Momentum for broader crypto legislation had the Genius Act failed. Many feared it would stall any crypto legislation for years, perhaps until 2029. Such delays would leave Ripple in limbo. And its advance, on the other hand, is a hopeful sign that Congress can tackle crypto issues one by one. This boosts confidence for Ripple and other pending matters. So there we go. It shows confidence that that they can get crypto bills through. Opportunities in the stablecoin markets. Ripple and company could also face benefit commercially from new stablecoin regimes. Remember, they've got their Ripple could issue their own USD. Yes, they've got their RLUSD, which obviously will benefit from this. Remember, they're auditing anyway. Competition and okay. Next, what has to happen is we've done the 19th of that went through 66 to 32. We covered that live. Senator supporters aim to pass the bill by Memorial Day, May the 26th. Given the momentum, assuming it passes Senate in a final vote, the focus shifts to the House of Representatives. House companion bill, that's what happens next. In early 32 to 17, the House bill has similar goals, establishing a federal framework for payment stablecoins. Outlook and timeline. If the Senate passes Junior Act by late May and the House passes its version by June, July, a reconciled bill could hit President Trump's desk by mid to late 2025. In fact, industry stakeholders are pushing for final law by August 2025. So that's when we can see it come into law, August 2025. We'll keep an eye on that. But also what's quite important is what it means for the major ones out there: USDT, USDC, and RLUSD. Well, USDC. Remember, while all of this is going on, Coinbase and Ripple are in a bidding war to buy Circle. So keep that in mind. And Coinbase already has a stake in Circle. So here we go. Circle was the issue of USDC. Winners under Genesis Act. So this is why it's USDC is fine, and that's why I've always preferred USDC to USDT. It's already compliant friendly. USDC is regulated in the US and publishes regular attestations. The Genius Act could solidify Circle's position as the gold standard for US-based stablecoins. Federal clarity could increase. Federal clarity could increase adoption by banks, fintechs, and asset managers. So that would actually be beneficial because, as I said, banks will be happily be using stable coins. Fintechs will be using stable coins because it's the law and it's completely fine to use them. Advantage over Tether, USDC can gain more of a market share, especially in the US markets, due to compliance, transparency, and alignment with US oversight. Here is the issue: US Tether. This has always been an issue. This has always been something that's spoken about in the crypto markets. We never know what they're doing. They just mint coins left, right, and center, propping the market up. So this is going to face increased pressure. It's not US regulated. Tether is based in the BVI and it's not fully transparent about its reserves. It could be locked out. If the US entities are restricted from non-compliant stablecoins, USDT may lose dominance in the US institutional use. Exchanges and platforms seeking to comply with US law may reduce exposure support for USDT in favor of regulated alternatives like USDC or RUSD. So USDT getting pushed out the markets long term is great. It's great for RUSD, great for Ripple. In the short term, it can cause a lot of pain, and I think we'll get onto that shortly. Bitcoin, this is RUSD. This is Ripple's version of the stablecoin made for this. Ripple launched the RLUSD with the US regulatory alignment in mind. The Genius Act could provide the perfect environment for its adoption. Institutional use cases: with Ripple's banking and payments network, RLUSD could become the preferred stablecoin for cross-border settlements. Well, it's more for the liquidity and tokenized finance. Compliance is key. If RLUSD meets all reserve, audit, and redemption requirements under Genius, it could emerge as the dominant dollar-backed stablecoin, and that's what I think is going to happen. Where is Here we go. So this is the issue about USDT. So if USDT loses US access or dominance, so if everyone flows to USDC, or if places just stop using USDT in the US, there will be a liquidity shock. USDT is the most traded stablecoin globally. It's got $110 billion market cap. It's number 3 or number 4 on the market cap of cryptos. If exchanges or institutions reduce USDT or use due to Genesis Act compliance, trading pairs can become unstable, slippage and spread widening, less USDT usage, thinner order books can cause wider spreads and price volatility across BTC, ETH, XRP, and altcoins. It could be a bloodbath. If people panic, if USDT gets washed away from the crypto US crypto straight away, if there's not a way of doing it gradually, or if USDT turns out to be a scam while all of this is going on, all the trading pairs are against USDT. Most of the market cap of the crypto, or 10% of the crypto market cap, is in USDT. It's the largest stable coin. This could be a lunar event when something goes bankrupt, when it depegs. This could be the depegging event of USDT. This is not to scare you, and I don't think this is going to happen, but I'm saying this is a real possibility that this stablecoin bill sends shockwaves throughout the whole crypto market, and then you'll see USDT and the crypto market crash heavily, all because of USDT. A lot of people have been predicting this for years, but this could be the catalyst that does that. So keep that in the back of your mind. There is still big risks in the crypto market, and something like USDT, where we don't know anything about the compliance of it, can do that. So institutional rotation: money rotates USDC or USD. Institutions and US compliant exchanges may migrate volume into regulated stablecoins. This transaction could cause short-term dips, but ultimately more substantial growth. FTX moment avoided. If Tether fails transparency tests, markets may get jittery over solvency fears of a Tether run that could trigger massive redemptions. Let's hope we don't get an FTX moment. Let's hope no one panics, and let's hope they do it properly. But that is definitely an issue. Long-term bullish. Yeah, we all know it's long-term bullish, but that's the warning on USDT, the non-compliant US stablecoin. So we'll keep an eye on that. This August is maybe when things will heat up. That's my thoughts on that. Do make sure you're subscribed and you hit the like button. We've got plenty of videos coming out on this and other subjects and XRP, crypto, Bitcoin, breakouts, charts, stocks, everything. So there'll be a few links up here. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Thanks for that. We're going to send you to Martyn now, who has, I think, set up the stream. Let me see if it's linked to this. Customization. I'm just going to. Oh, nothing redirecting yet. Let me eat. Oh, okay. Here we go. I think this is it. Eat it. Market to pump. Okay. I'm going to redirect that to there. We've got that. I'll get you the link as well. Let me get you the link. We'll send you straight to Martyn. Robbie, I was doing a fact. Let me see if there's any questions. Any reason you would trade natural gas? It's a hard one to trade. I wouldn't trade natural gas. Let's see if I've got Martyn's link. Yes, we've got it here. So this is where we're sending you. This is Martyn's show starting any second now. Oh, there we go. I've just put it in the chat. I like getting these quick updates by Sensei, getting some good news that I would otherwise miss. Thank you, Marcus. Yes, we'll cover it all. We'll keep informed all together. We might do it in different ways in the future as well. Me and Martyn are working on something great. So there we go. I'm waiting on oil to probably lower prices coming, James. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Stay exactly where you are. Martyn's link is there. We're going to close the poll now. Let's see. Oh, has the poll been closed? What's the poll? Oh yeah, Martyn's just closed the poll. Will Bitcoin hit a new all-time high this week? 44% say yes, 24% say we need a catalyst, 18% say more momentum, 12% say it's going to drop. I do not know. We're getting ready for it day by day. The more times we don't manage to break it, I get a little bit more bearish. Thank you, Chris Fulton. We are working on that. Discord is taking longer to upgrade than we thought, and we're trying to do it in the right way. So don't worry, that's coming. Thanks, Sensei. Ibn Wolf for natural gas is bearish at the moment. Okay, brilliant. Okay, there's the link. Go straight to it. Click on that link. I'll give it's in the chat again. This, if you don't move, the stream will take you directly there. Thank you everyone for tuning in. It's always a pleasure doing these morning shows. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye bye.